Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
Inside.
Foreclose that Tristan.
How are you? What happened to your face? I have AIDS. Oh.
Cerveza cristal. Cerveza cristal.
Good Lord, who is harding in my podcast?
Who is competing with me in Harding?
Hey, guess what, everybody? We have a super giant podcast. It's me and Silver. I was going to do this joke where I was like, hey, Jason, how's it going? Anyway.
And then it's just...
Oh, look, it's Silver.
It's a me.
It's a me. The only podcast brave enough to compete with WrestleMania's Day 1 main event. Which is on right now, which I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of every now and then kind of looking back to see how it's going.
I'm glad you're paying attention.
No, I'm really into this podcast.
Oh my gosh, here's Chance competing with me. Ah!
I didn't know you had AIDS, Chance. I've learned some things. I've learned some new things. AIDS opinions. Any rate, we're here, everybody, for another podcast.
Are you for your compromised immune system?
In my a chance of compromised immune system. Jason is, I don't know, out of town for something, and Ross is out of town for something. I fed his cat the last couple of days because he's not even remotely present nearby. Apparently, can't bring his cat with him.
I'd bring the cat.
But we're here with the A team. The
A squad.
The A squad. The only ones that
the
matter.
The producers are here.
The producers. The ones that make all of the things for this podcast. Silver hasn't been going.
Yeah, except I'd rank you at like 90 and me at 10% of production.
Yes. Well, when the other two were 0.
That's true. It's something.
Chance says, no AIDS. I've many malfunctions, but AIDS is not one of them. I beg to differ. I recently saw a video where you said you had AIDS. So, checkmate.
I saw some video as well. So, let's be real. Checkmate.
It's all that promiscuous hand-holding. That's how you get it, or so I was told at church. Scandalous. Much like the mysterious group we'll never talk about. That was scandalous.
Nope. You'll never know.
How was your week?
Crazy with school.
I'm gonna attempt to eat a carrot quietly while you talk about your
A carrot?
Don't.
You just have
look.
Do you just have a carrot? What's
I have baby carrots. The more effeminate
Okay,
form
I'm
of carrot.
picturing a giant carrot that you walked out into the garden, ripped out of the soil, and went, perfect.
Bugs Bunny form, just walking around shoveling it out. Would you take $1 million, but you could only eat carrots? I assume your nutrition would eventually kill you.
Yeah, and I turn orange. I don't know how I feel about that. I do like carrots, but I don't know if I like them that much.
Would you actually turn orange?
Isn't that the thing that they say something in oranges? Not oranges, sorry, carrots, orange pigment or whatever.
Yeah, this is really
Even
informed
that you could turn
conversations we're having right now.
Yeah, I know.
All carrots look like baby
All
carrots and Red's giant baseball mitt hands. That's true. It also makes me feel like a big boy. Because I can eat my baby carrots.
World's biggest carrot, just normal sized in your hand.
Guess what's coming out soon, Silver?
Oh, what?
Some black guy who buttles, something like
that. That was the first thing that popped into my head, but I did not expect you to bring it up.
Well, I was looking at shows that are coming to Crunchyroll soon, and I was like, "Oh, Black Butler's on there." Silver's excited.
I'm excited.
She vicariously lives through the relationships in the show.
I am kind of disappointed in the new art style, mainly on Sebastian.
We're talking about Black Butler. So you're not happy with how Sebastian looks in new show?
No. All the other ones, he was like typical, really attractive anime guy. Now this one, it's like his looks downgraded. I don't know.
How much time between the first and second season?
Oh, gosh.
Because the first season looks like it's old, like 90s, early 2000s. I could be wrong.
What's up?
I've heard you a no expert on Black Butler, the anime. That's super girly.
So it's weird. So the first season, which follows the manga, came out in 2008. They call it Black Butler 2, the second season, has nothing to do with the manga, and it came out in 2010.
Does it follow the anime, though? Were they both in the same universe? You should know. Like, you're the expert on this show.
It's like it'll try and pick up kind of where it left off, but with their own story in the second season. And then they came out with, I don't even know how to explain it, like an arc where it goes back to the manga. They call them the books of something, and so the next one came out in 2014.
This happens sometimes with anime, for anybody, chance, who isn't aware. Frequently in anime, so they'll make a manga, which is essentially a Japanese comic book. They'll make an anime attached to the manga that follows the story because the manga is really popular. But the problem is the manga's still going, and they don't have any story. So they then write their own stories that don't follow the manga as the manga catches up. And then they double back to the story of the manga. Yeah, I get it, Chance. You're not really into anime. Hey, guess what? There's a girl on this podcast.
Guess what?
Y'all were like,
there's a diversity hire on this podcast. I don't know what to tell you.
She checks a box. We pay her 70 cents on the dollar.
Gotta fill that quota.
Man. Gotta fill that quota. Oh yeah, let's discuss anime. I don't even care for Black Butler. Look, me and Silver are friends. She really loves that show. I tried, man, did I die within minutes of watching.
I knew you would. It's great.
DEI. I did finish completely. Oh, it's so embarrassing to say. Watch this.
Yes.
What is it called? It's like Rent a Girlfriend or something like that.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me about that last week where
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm
pretend
both
to have a
embarrassed
girlfriend.
and yeah, I'm both embarrassed and cringed while watching this stupid thing. And I don't know why. Here's my favorite. So I didn't know that Crunchyroll has reviews on each episode. But I found that out when I'm using my app that people make comments under each episode. And I usually watch it on freaking Roku. But I pull open the app and I'm at the gym and I'm walking on the treadmill and I'm like, oh, I'll casually watch that stupid show I'm watching. And one of my favorite reviews of a show I've ever seen underneath that episode, yes, Chance, hookers, except there's no intimacy involved. It's literally sad, pathetic men who need girls to pretend that they're a girlfriend, and so that they could feel like they're normal and they're not losers. That's literally, they rent somebody to pretend that they're their girlfriend. It's so pathetic. Yeah, I'm not proud that I've watched this show. Anyway,
rent a boyfriend available? Asking for a friend.
Hey, you know what I should do? I should get you. They've got these pillows that got an arm on it, so that when you lay, it feels like someone's got their arm around you. I should super get you one. No, I should get you one. It'll be amazing.
Yeah, it's not even like the size of like a body pillow. It's like half of that with an arm.
Yeah, it's half a torso with the single arm that you can wrap around you to comfort you when
it's weird. It has like
are difficult.
Fingers, but it's like cloth fingers. It's weird. It's like a Muppet arm. I don't know.
You can hold hands. Feel loved.
Tape Sebastian's face to it.
I gave you, when I went to Japan, I gave you a body pillow that I hoped was embarrassing.
Oh, yes, you did. It's actually right next to me. Hi, it's right there.
And it was in, it is a good way to get a stalker. Absolutely. It wasn't super big. I found that body pillow in a bargain bin. So I was like, I don't even know what show this is from.
And I'm shocked when I saw that because I'm like, oh, yes, I've seen this show. Yes, I know what character this is.
Yeah, you're super awkward. Is he at least a attractive character that you ship yourself with at some point?
I never even considered that character from the show, but
oh my
was his name Cecil? He has like an 80-year-old
know.
man's name, Cecil.
At any rate, my favorite review for that Rent a Girlfriend show was in the comments underneath, and all the review said was, "This show sucks balls. See you next week."
See you next week. And you went, yes, I shall also see you next week, because I'm also watching this.
I was super tempted, Chance, to go buy. Chance comments, I wanted to visit Japan, just go nuts buying Japan exclusive retro games and hardware. Believe it or not, the retro game market in America is blown out because people are speculating, they're buying, they're reselling. It's become this whole stupid thing. It's like they ruined comic books, they're ruining the retro gaming market in America. I mean, it blew up 100-fold in like 5-10 years. In Japan, stuff is still relatively cheap compared to here. Like, people aren't like collecting retro stuff like they do here in Japan. I wanted to buy some old school Japanese stuff, but I only had so much space and time and whatnot. So do you know what I bought? You know those mini NES consoles like the mini NES and the mini Super NES that Nintendo came out with?
Oh yeah.
Well, I bought the mini Famicom and the mini Super Famicom, the two Japanese versions, which are 100% in Japanese in the menus, so I don't know what I'm selecting. And depressingly enough, a lot of the games are crossover, like Mario is in the American one as well as in the Japanese one. But I did like the idea of getting it in Japan, and it was something where I could get it and a bunch of little games. So I love them. I have them sitting here at my little home entertainment system. I would like to go back and buy more for fun. Japan does need to get busy making babies. Their population is aging. Not just aging, but their population is in active decline. I think last year their population went up like 800,000, which is almost nothing when there's 113 million people, I think, in the country. It's really sad. And it's not just sad because I care about Japan or anything. It's sad because as their population declines, they're going to start losing their culture through influence from people moving in and changing things. I hear their biggest diaper maker quit making baby diapers, went adult diaper exclusive. Well, Japan also has socialized healthcare, and they have an extremely old population and not enough young people, and it's causing a massive financial crisis for them because they don't have enough young people to pay for all of the bills of the elderly that are draining the medical system in Japan. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. Japan is the third largest economy in the world. Oh, wait, not anymore. If you've been paying attention to economics, Japan is no longer the third largest economy in the world. They're now number 4. Germany is number 3. And you might go, oh, well, Germany's doing really well. They got big manufacturing. Actually, that's not what happened. Germany didn't pass Japan. Japan went down past Germany.
Oh my gosh.
Japan dipped on the line graph. Germany didn't go up. It's really depressing.
Oh no.
I want Japan to have their own culture. I want them to preserve their own culture. I want them to stay around as a country. They need to promote their own population to have children. One of the biggest problems in Japan is young people have the starry-eyed view of, I don't know why this became a Japan podcast, but people have a starry-eyed view of going to Tokyo, young people, because it's the big hip place to go. But the problem is Tokyo doesn't pay you very much money, and everybody lives in very small apartments with not a lot of space. So they can't financially afford kids, and they can't financially afford to have bigger places. And it's causing problems. Chance says, if I were single and still virile, you're not virile. I would fly to Japan and volunteer my services. You know, I've seen pathetic comments from white people, not joking, saying, I'll go and help because I'm white and blonde and blue-eyed and my genetics are valued. It's like, ew, no. It just so happens that I'm very restricted on my religious interests in dating, and they're in a lot of my peoples in Japan. Were you saying, Silver?
I was just gonna say, like, weren't they trying to come up with some ideas to get people to have more kids? Something about like decreased prices for school or something if you have kids, or I forget what it was. It was a long time ago when I'm
sure there are tax breaks. I'm sure there's a lot of it. You know what's funny? I watched an anime on an anime. It was a live action Japanese drama on Netflix that felt like the government of Japan paid for it to get people to hook up. I kid you not. The whole show was, you're not allowed to get together, but this needs to be a season of love. We need to get together. And like at the end, the fake prime minister of Japan says, I declare this a season of love. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Did the Japanese government fork out money for this show? Did they pay this show to start attracting Japanese young people to hook up and have the children? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But Black Butler's coming, and you're excited.
Yes. Yes, I am. You know what I really want another season of, though?
What's that?
March comes in like a lion.
I don't know if we're ever going to get that.
I don't think we will, but I want it.
Me and Silver have a deep love of somewhat depressing anime.
We
Where
like to
everything's...
feel
Yeah. I have trouble feeling emotions, so it helps me feel things.
Yes, through a depressing show.
I really like Marching Comes In Like a Lion. The music in it is great. Bump of Chicken, I think, does the music for that.
Oh, right. I love that name.
On top of that, we're looking at What Silent Voice, which is mega depressing.
Kotaro Lives Alone.
Kotaro Lives Alone, which is on Netflix. The animation is terrible. Hentai will make you feel things, you sinner. Kotaro...
Chance no.
Chance no. Kotaro Lives Alone is really depressing and also really poorly animated.
That's no good.
That's no good.
Sorry.
This is... Yeah. How dare you in front of the lady? And by lady, I mean me. She's a giant kaiju monster who has no feelings.
Exactly.
Nobody will love you. You're a horrible monster.
Unless I have my weird romance with Mothra.
Mothra. Isn't Mothra supposed to be female?
I don't know.
Is it lesbian if you're not the same species? Don't avoid the question.
Probably is, so never mind.
What do you think about Ghidorah? Is he hot? Would you be in to hit 3 heads? 3 monster heads?
Hold on.
You shouldn't have to Google this. You've met these people at functions.
Yeah, but I'm usually distracted by a laser toy. I don't...
Much like a cat.
Yeah. I mean, all the attention's focused on Godzilla. Nobody wants Catzilla. I don't know why.
Wow.
Why am I getting this picture of Mecha Godzilla? I don't know.
A robot. Speaking of... Oh.
Your robot.
Should we talk about the news? There's so much news.
Yes, go ahead.
What, you don't want to awkwardly talk about whether or not you would go out with different kaiju?
No, it's just like, quickly click off the page of Ghidorah Godzilla. Trying to find a decent picture.
A decent picture of those two making out?
Holy cow. No, just of Ghidorah.
He has 3 giant... He's like a giant dragon monster with 3 heads.
Yes. I can see that now.
What more could you want in a man? Besides...
But isn't it 3 individuals?
You could say you're a swinger.
No, I'm good.
Oh, now that you're considering the impropriety of it, now you got morals after all those people you killed in Tokyo. Oh, I'm Silver, and I think I'm better than you.
Dude, I want a giant cat monster.
You know what's the best part about everybody else being gone? You're forced to talk more and interact and have opinions. Because usually we lock you in a cage and don't let you out. We don't like you to
Yeah.
speak because you're a woman. That's true. So Chance makes the
God.
comment that one dude married the two-headed girl recently, and good for him. If I recall, the two-headed girl, she's a teacher at an elementary school. I mean,
Huh.
great. Yeah.
Oh, I remember these two.
Yeah.
Is it Abby and someone? Brittany. What's their
Abby's
names?
sister.
Abby and Abby's sister.
Well, it's not like you're going to meet Abby and then she'll go, oh, here's my sister. And you're like, oh, this is your sister. Not just because you look alike, but you're attached.
Wait,
You're not going to be
it
shocked.
was revealed that Abby, the twin on the left, was married to Josh Bowling. So only the twin on the left was.
So
Technically.
the right one isn't married?
Nope. She's just
Must be awkward.
there, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe she feels like a third wheel, but
But, hey, why
that's
am I
one of those
doing
noises
that?
you should get. There you go.
Also on
Oh,
a different
Lord.
tab, I had to quickly run over.
Hey, guess what? Welcome to my world where I've got 40 different things to open up and look at and keep track of. Oh, it's difficult. Different tab.
Pain.
Well, I like how we'll be doing stuff and one of the other jokers will be like, well, you should check this. I was like, I've got 40 things I'm looking at right now. I can't. So goes in the chat window. Okay. Thank you. News up.
The Distracted Gamer Podcast's big steaming pile of news dump.
Hey, guess what, everybody? There's so much news. I'm eating
gosh.
baby carrot. Makes me feel strong. It'll improve my eyes. Did you ever hear that thing where they were like, if you eat a lot of carrots, it'll make your eyes stronger?
That is a lie. I can attest.
Well,
I mean, I know there's something
you-
in it good for your eyes, but
you can't fix busted. And you're busted.
I know. I know.
Hey, everybody, it's Make Fun of Silver Day. Chance says that whole situation with Abby Hensel makes me wonder all sorts of things that make me hate myself. You should hate yourself, Chance. You deserve it.
I'm wondering.
Don't go down that road. You'll turn into the monster. You'll get AIDS. You'll get Chance AIDS. Special form of AIDS.
That's a new thing, Chance.
It's highly it's highly dangerous, but it is spread through intimacy, and since Chance isn't intimate, no one's gonna get it. Hey, everybody! D-Day, D-Day has happened with Disney. Do you remember that whole conversation we
gosh.
had about how Nelson Peltz and all the other, if you recall, Jesse was saying that they were activist investors were trying to take over Disney and change Disney.
Yeah.
Well, D-Day did occur. It was on Tuesday. This article, which I don't know why I pulled it up first. So I was going through some stuff. We'll address directly what happened on D-Day. This should make you ask some questions. So according to that dark place, a financial analyst and tax expert explained why Bob Iger sold over 825,000 shares of Disney stock in the last 2 years. Bob Iger sold like 80% of his stock prior to this drop. Yeah. Apparently the Disney board doesn't own that much stock at all. One of the biggest shareholders of Disney stock on the board is a woman. I know I have her. This isn't that vital that I bring it up. It's something like 100,000 shares, which should tell you that Iger is not only not the highest shareholder on the board,
Yeah.
but also that he sold most of his shares. So this should be encouraging to investors that most of the board don't even own shares in their own company. Chance Age acquired immense debauchery syndrome. That's what it means. AIDS, Chance's AIDS. So what's been going on with the stock? If you're new, you don't know what's happening with the Disney drama. Essentially, this guy named Nelson Peltz and his big investment corporation were intending on causing a vote among the shareholders to replace some members of the board, so that he could get on the board and change some things, because he wants to make Disney more financially viable, because he thinks it's going down a poor route. I've heard, this is something that's said repeatedly on the internet, I've heard the quote unquote activist investor. How are you an activist if you want the company to be less political and you want it to be financially more successful? I don't know why that's labeled as activist, but go ahead. Disney was legit running commercials on YouTube encouraging Disney stockholders to vote only for company favorite candidates. Shaking my head. Well, guess what, Chance? If you're listening to this podcast, you'd have known that because we played it on this podcast. I think it was like episode 2 or 1 or something. 2.
Oh yeah, we did.
They actually sent out ballots to vote for members of the board already filled in to shareholder homes. There is an estimate. Yeah, there was an estimate that they spent something in the realm of 70 million. I've heard Vanity Fair quotes it at something around 40 million, between 40 and 70 million dollars on the campaign to keep the board the way that it is. And you should ask yourself, why is this such a big deal? Is Nelson Peltz going to take over everything and replace? Literally, this was over pretty much one seat. I think they were hoping to elect maybe a couple more, but it wasn't going to make them the dominant voice in the board. Like, that's it. It was over a seat on the board. That's it. They weren't replacing Bob Iger. He wasn't losing his job. They weren't immediately shifting things. It was literally over a seat or two, so that because they're shareholders, and so they could have bigger voice on what was happening in the company. And it makes me think, why are you so paranoid about what people like? Are you hiding something that you don't want people to find out because Nelson Peltz is having a seat? Like, why are you so paranoid that you're spending tens of millions of dollars to prevent people from being voted onto the board who own lots of shares and by all rights should have a bigger voice? I mean, it didn't make any sense. But D-Day happened, and guess what? Bob Iger wins. Yay. I'm not one of those people. Yay. Let me bring up the article. Hooray.
Hooray.
I'm not one of those people that thought that this big drama was going to change anything. Even if they got elected to the board, I'm not one of those people that thought this was really going to change much. Chance says, I could fix Disney with 4 words, stop the woke shit. According to Bob Iger, that's not happening, but we'll get there. So he vanquishes billionaire foe Nelson Peltz. I don't think Nelson Peltz would have fixed the company if he got elected on the board. I don't think it was going to change anything. And if anything, which is the opinion of a lot of YouTubers, is good. Bob Iger wins. They're going to double down on the woke stuff, and the company is going to get worse and hopefully collapse. I am not a shill for Disney. I could care less if they stick around. I haven't watched a dang thing they've come out with, for a while now, because they make bad content. Like, do you really care, Silver, like what happens to Disney at this point? Like, do you even consume their products?
I mean, the stuff that I'm made to watch, None of it's
Yeah.
good. So I don't, at this point, I don't care. Of course, I like their old stuff, but only the old stuff.
Well, sure, but that's not the same company anymore.
That's true. So, yeah, I wouldn't care if Disney goes down now. I still have the old stuff. They're just
Precisely.
gonna keep coming out with worse and worse things, according to all this.
There's so much built-up drama around this too. That this is a big deal. You need to make sure you don't vote for the other guy. You vote for. It's like, is it really going to collapse you if one guy gets elected to your board? Is it really going to change anything? It just makes me feel like they're hiding something to be so aggressive about trying to prevent one guy onto the board who I don't think was going to fix the company in the first place. I still think it's in the doghouse. And when Disney performs poorly in the coming years, they don't have an excuse to sit there and go, well, it was Nelson Peltz who got on the board and ruined things. It's all you guys. You won your stupid vote. Chance says, I watched Wish today. It was the most okay thing they have made in a minute. Of course, it had its woke undertones. Well, one of the dumbest things about Wish was literally it was a white man who was saying everybody shouldn't have their wish. And the black girl says everybody should have their wish. And it's like, didn't they address this in Wonder Woman 1984 and that's a disaster and like not everybody should have their wish?
Oh yeah, I forgot that was the whole thing.
What if my wish is the return of old Adolphus from Germania? What if that's my wish? Do you think I should get my wish? Should I get my wish silver?
According to Black Girl from Wish, you should have. I mean, that's what she's saying, right?
What if my wish is to eat the most babies of anybody?
Well, everybody gets their wish. I know.
Everybody gets their wish. Do I deserve to get my wish?
You don't deserve it, but everybody gets it. I can't argue with whatever her name is in Wish. I never saw it.
I can't stop her. She's gonna give everybody their wish. No matter what. Good Lord. But yeah, D-Day has happened and Bob Iger has won. There'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. It's not really that big a deal.
Yeah, I don't think anything's gonna change with Disney.
No.
It's not a shocker.
Hey, guess what? There's so much more to talk about.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. There. So Disney CEO Bob Iger believes he's removed Disney from the culture war and claims the company is not infusing messaging in its films and TV shows. The Walt Disney Company's CEO Bob Iger shared an interview following the company's annual shareholder meeting that he's removed the company from the culture war. And that the company is not infusing messages in its films and TV shows. In an interview with CNBC, Bob Iger was asked, the woke thing has more of an impact. You said to me that you would love to be just out of the culture war. Do you feel you're succeeding in that? There you can find, I think it was Hollywood Reporter, you can find a year apart articles almost phrased exactly the same, saying Bob Iger is going to tone down the woke stuff at Disney. A year apart, the same article. No one believes you, Bob. Here's the biggest problem with the woke stuff. Whether or not you like it or not, it alienates part of your audience and it makes you a political actor. It makes you picking a side in politics, where, as we talked about last week, you now become a political actor, so you get treated as a political actor. You chop up your audience. It's like, didn't companies used to just be neutral? You didn't have to care about what their politics were. They were just a company. How come now companies have to weigh in on every political issue? Can't you just not say things or weigh in on politics? Nobody believes when he says that they're pulling back from the political stuff. Here, let me read some quotes here. Well, I think the noise has quieted down. It hasn't. I've been preaching this for a long time to the company before I left, and since I came back, that our number one goal is to entertain. Yeah, well, you're not entertaining, and your politics is showing. He goes, look, the term woke is thrown around liberally, no pun intended in that regard. I think a lot of people don't understand really what it means. Do you, Bob? Do you understand what it means? The bottom line is that infusing messaging as a sort of number one priority in our films and TV shows is not what we're up to. They need to be entertaining. I recall an interview where you were talking about making Black Panther and how proud you were of the messaging in that movie. Yeah, I don't buy it, Bob.
What about that, Bob?
What about that, Bob? Chant says, Dear Bob Iger, that is what is known as pissing down our leg and telling us it's raining. Not only that, but we've known for a while that Bob is actively participant in the politicizing of Disney. He's a part of it. You can't blame it on Jason Chapek with the whole Disney thing when you were still on the board, still in the office, still a part of everything. All of the stuff that was greenlit that we were seeing in the past few years, it was awful woke garbage. You greenlit. It wasn't Jason. It takes years for movies to come out. Nobody buys this. The biggest problem with Disney is they lost the trust of the general family viewer. And you're not going to get that back. None of us trust you anymore. If I had kids,
Yep.
They would be terrible kids. But if I had kids, I couldn't trust your content, and I couldn't trust putting children in front of televisions to watch your content.
Oh, yeah.
Most horrible things can be blamed on Jason. Jason is the cause of all horrors in the universe. That is true. He is on his way to bringing about the Fourth Reich, as I recall.
I mean, that's why he's gone today, right?
That is why he's gone. He's busy.
Yeah.
He's working on it.
He's with the army.
He's with the army. Here's something that should tell you how the company is moving away from the woke stuff. 2 hours after winning the vote, they announced that they are gender swapping Silver Surfer in the new Fantastic Four film.
Oh my god.
2 hours after winning their shareholder vote, they're like, oh, the new Silver Surfer is going to be a woman. This film will do you no favors, Julia Garner. I haven't seen you anything, but this is going to do you no favors. Everybody's going to be pissed off. And there were a lot of Wikipedia warriors who essentially Googled woman Silver Surfer to be like, see, there was a woman Silver Surfer. No, that was Silver Surfer's girlfriend, wife, or whatever. That was why he turned to Galactus. She was never one of the Four Horsemen, as I recall. Silver Surfer was always Galactus's herald. Not what am I talking about? The Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen are Apocalypse. He was never one of the heralds of she was never one of the heralds of Galactus. Heralds of Galactus, as I recall. Silver Surfer was, and he was forever. Yeah, this is going to go over well. Despite the fact that everything that comes out about the Fantastic Four makes me go, oh, this looks like a steaming pile of horse crap. No one's confident in anything you're making. Nobody. I'm not confident. You know what do you have to say, Bob? So yeah, he's toning down the politics.
Yeah, totally.
Those shower facilities aren't going to build themselves. He's got a lot of kids. They got thumbs. He's got that horrible son of his. Is it wrong that I dislike a kid?
I've never met this kid, so it's valid.
You wouldn't like him. Of course, I don't like a lot of people.
It's a miracle I'm even here.
It's a miracle. Much like an infection, you've stuck around. I can't get rid of you.
Yep.
We're related. I have to tolerate you.
Uh-huh. Share genetics with a cat monster.
If you count that. So Chance says, I do not share genetics with the cat and monster side. That is your other side of the family. Our side is the human side.
Okay.
Hence, your mother is a horrible monster of which there can be no description. It's like Cthulhu, a giant squid monster of terror.
Dare talk bad about Mom Catzilla.
I just did. What are you going to do about it?
I'm feeling the urge to destroy Tokyo again.
Well, yeah, just reel and wreck the Asians. Oh no! Chance says the Fantastic Four films are 03 and 04 if you count the direct to VHS release. They are. I was okay with the first Fantastic Four with Mr. Evans. I was okay with it. It's not amazing, but
Oh yeah.
Who's that guy that plays the Mandalorian?
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, who's in everything now. He's Mr. Fantastic. Yeah. He's the new Idris Elba, where he's DI like checkbox guy who you can put in anything, so he's in everything until he stops being hot and he becomes the current Idris Elba.
The only thing I ever liked Pedro Pascal in really was that ridiculous Nick Cage movie.
Well, that's because Nick Cage is in it, and Nick Cage is awesome.
I love Nick.
Well, to quote the, I don't think you've ever saw Community, but they had this one of the main characters took this class and the class is about Nicolas Cage, and it was, is Nicolas Cage a good or a bad actor? And it came down to it that he went crazy because Nicolas Cage is both really good and really bad as an actor.
Oh,
like he's both at the same time.
I mean, come on.
Well, that's one of his good movies.
Jiu-Jitsu was one of his good movies.
What, you don't like Nicolas Cage doing flips?
Oh, that was just beautiful. You're right.
Yeah, I am right. Nicolas Cage, everybody's one of the greatest loves, a gem of cinema. So Chance says, I was down with the idea of a John Krasinski Reed Richards. He worked for the part. I thought he was great. John Krasinski fits perfectly for Reed Richards, not Pedro Pascal.
Oh, Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro's overdone. Did you know they're making a Mandalorian and Grogu movie?
No.
Yeah, it's going to be
bad.
theatrically released.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I have something about it on the news docket. I don't recall. Let's talk about the problems happening in Hollywood, shall we?
Yeah.
So an interesting article came out on April 2nd from the Hollywood Reporter talking about the problems that exist in Hollywood, particularly the writers. No one's shocked. Let's read on. Emily Cheever's career was just getting started. The 36-year-old began her TV writing career in 2020 as writer's production assistant and script coordinator for Legends of Tomorrow before getting hired as a staff writer for ABC's The Company You Keep. By the way, Legends of Tomorrow was terrible. After the drama that marked Vilo, I'm not going to pronounce that last name, follow-up to This Is Us was canceled, follow a single season shortly after the Writers Guild of America strike began last May. She had no job to return to when it ended in September. Like scores of writers, all levels and backgrounds, she doesn't know when or where her next paycheck will come. People are scared. I'm trying to get back to bartending. A lot of people are wondering what other jobs they can do. I'm close with my old showrunners and they're supportive of me, but they're looking for jobs. Across the TV landscape, buying has cooled dramatically. I wonder why. And many writers now find themselves in situations like Cheever, with opportunities shrinking as the industry shifts from peak TV to an era of contraction and austerity. Austerity? Really? A wave of downsizing that kicked off last year when the priorities of Wall Street changed from a focus on subscriber growth to profitability. That's not what happened. As streamers like Netflix and Max right-size their slates, the broadcast pipeline for Peacock, Hulu, and Paramount are drying up. Yeah, because we have too many streaming services and they're all in competition with one another. And it's an unsustainable business model. They produced way too much content that wasn't being consumed. Most people consume old shows. Nobody's watching any of the new nonsense that they're making. All the new nonsense is political and infused with political messaging. It goes on to say a decade ago, broadcasters collectively ordered as many as 98 pilots. Today, that number could be counted on one hand. There are a few shows that are still being greenlit. So few new pilots that are being ordered, and fewer spots in writers' rooms. The staffing positions available are going to more seasoned writers, and the pilots that are being purchased are being bought from proven writers. Oh, you don't say. You don't say that when we go through COVID and the financial difficulties with that, and then we go through the writer's strike, where you demand more money and force new deals onto these companies, that now that it costs more money and there's a contraction in the market, not simply because of greedy Wall Street, but because the content you guys produce is garbage and nobody wants your content. And guess what? Nobody's surprised when they're mostly hiring seasoned writers and they're not hiring 20-somethings out of college, because you guys don't know what you're doing and they want proven people that can write stuff, not somebody who inserts their politics in every show that they make. No one's surprised about that. No one's surprised you can't get work. And in fact, nobody feels bad for you. There is, this is literally a gig economy in Hollywood. And by that, I mean, you get the work that you can get, and there's not consistency because shows come and go. Because guess what? A show you worked on that got canceled, maybe it sucked. And maybe that had part of the reason it sucked is because you had something to do with it. They owe you nothing. There's no obligation that Hollywood has is to keep you hired. They owe you nothing. They pay you for the work you do, and then you move on. And guess what? You earn big fat paychecks, and maybe you should save your money. Maybe you should be doing other writing work on the side, writing online, writing for shows. Hey, guess what? If you're an editor in Hollywood, there's so many shows on YouTube that need editors. But you can't do that because that's going backwards. You're in Hollywood now. You can't think outside the box and do something more. It's so stupid. Well, and listen to the shows they make. Brandon K. Hines spent more than a decade working in support staff on jobs as script coordinator on Comedy Central's Aquafina is Nora from Queens and Amazon's Harlem. Showtime's Fellow Travel. I've never heard of any of these shows, nor did I have any interest in watching them. No one's surprised when these things get canceled because they suck balls. Much like that reviewer on the Rent a Girlfriend show. Are we supposed to feel bad for Hollywood writers that can't find work where the industry is collapsing on itself, Silver? Are we supposed to mourn the loss of their jobs?
I mean, they're the ones writing the bad things that aren't getting any viewers, so isn't it their fault?
But don't we owe them a job because they want to work in Hollywood because it's their dream?
No. It's like a theater kid going, I'm gonna go to Hollywood, and he's a background extra once. Sorry, I don't think you're gonna really get that all the time. You have to go do other stuff in the meantime.
I've heard, I knew people when I went to when I was on campus, who said that they were going to be famous. They were going to become famous actors. One girl in particular, where she's like, well, I'm going to become a famous actor and whatnot. And it's like, she was attractive. I heard somebody once make the point where it's like, if you're the hottest person in your small town and you go to Hollywood and everyone's the hottest person from their small town, so they're all really attractive people because that's where they all go, because they think that they could go somewhere by simply being attractive, not having some sort of skill set or whatever. Hollywood is full of broken dreams of all of these hot people that think that they can get into movies simply by being hot. You know, a lot of people just get discovered and it's like winning the lottery, and nobody owes you a job. Nobody owes you a job. Chance says, I make it a point to own all of my favorite shows, films on physical media. Buy once, own forever. Streaming can suck it. Not only that, but streaming is deleting shows and getting rid of content. So you're not even guaranteed if you buy something on Amazon, you can keep it, as we've reported on previous weeks ago. Look at the Willow TV show on Disney Plus. They removed it from Disney Plus.
Just thinking of that. They purged that.
They did purge it. You can't get it anymore. Chance says, I love how the writing is bad, the content is bad, but the people who choose not to spend their money on the bad products are blamed and called bigots. You are at fault, and you are a bigot. Why is it our job to watch your crappy show? Why when
I know. I don't feel bad for him.
well, why when the Marvels comes out and then they're like, well, it's the bigoted fans' fault. Why is it my job to prop up your badly written piece of garbage? How come I'm obligated to watch your content? How about you make something that's good? A novel idea. How about you make something that doesn't talk down to me and treat me like I'm a horrible person simply because of, shockingly, the color of my skin or my gender? How come you hate me, Disney? And then you make me feel bad for not supporting you. This is like a bad relationship.
Your chore. You have to watch their awful shows because it's your chores.
It's my
You
chores.
have to.
Do your chores.
Don't get an allowance. You just do it.
I don't get allowance. I pay them. It's like, take the garbage out and watch the Marvels. Oh, I don't want to watch the Marvels.
Come on, Mom. I don't want to watch the Marvels.
Come on, Cthulhu, Mom. Ew. Ew. Yeah, no one's feeling bad for Hollywood as Hollywood starts to go down the crapper. Yeah, I don't feel bad for you. And in fact, I think your industry could. Yes. Well, most, as we reported the last few weeks, most people are consuming older content, not the new shows being watched. I think I had a pretty extensive article I found last week that was talking about that very thing. How about we move into sexism, Silver, which you know a lot about.
All right.
Have you heard of a game called Stellar Blade?
No.
Okay. Well, you are doing things like being educated. So a game called Stellar Blade came out that is a Korean game made by a Korean company. And this game came out. Apparently it's pretty fun. I haven't played it. I don't know much about the narrative or the story or whatnot. But the gal in it is very busty and tight-fitting outfit. And very sexualized, I suppose. Apparently a lot of the big complaints about her outfit is because it's an alternate outfit that you can get, not her main outfit that you have in the game. Regardless of that, people are having a shit fit on the internet about this overly sexualized person, that she's unrealistic, She's not. She's an overly dramatized, unrealistic form of woman. So IGN had some pretty hot takes to come out recently. IGN of France, by the way. Let's read some of their tweets. Yes, no problem. Go tell that to the women who are hit, killed, denigrated, or who commit suicide because they cannot live up to the fictional standards expected by men. The problem is not the sexy design itself, except that it sucks compared to others, but hey, that doesn't matter. But the percentage of males who only want this type of fictional body in reality. Obviously, we understand that this does not shock people who think that women are objects who must obey and be beaten. Okay. This design makes us sigh and roll our eyes, and we laugh at anyone who needs it, man or woman, but that's it. The certainly clashing remarks in the text, which target the creative process. Not necessarily the specific designer or the game director, this is obvious to anyone who knows little French. Only has this impact because a good portion of gamers have become too fragile due to being fed patriarchy. Literally, this individual from IGN in France says that women are going to be killed because of this game.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if you looked up the image of the character, Silver.
I did.
Okay. Does she seem unnaturally proportioned? Maybe idealized.
I mean, yes, because she's an animated character. She looks like an anime character.
Would you be shocked
Why would you
if I told you
expect
that
her
she is designed after a supermodel in Korea?
I'd believe that.
Her proportions are actually that of an actual human being.
Yeah, I believe that. A lot of games coming out are kind of doing that.
Would you also be shocked that the character was designed by a woman?
Oh, does this person from IGN know?
I don't know. Maybe they would.
Everything.
Maybe they would claim there's some sort of internalized misogyny of this woman. The woman who, by the way, is the wife of one of the game developers who designed this character.
Also, this is not the worst character I've seen in terms of, like, quote unquote, like, the scantily clad outfit or whatever. This is not the worst one. Why are they complaining?
Well, everybody's going to cause drama about things they don't like. Yeah. Yeah. So apparently this game will get people killed. The hot takes don't go away, however. There are more to come. IGN apologizes to Stellar Blade developer Shift Up Corporation for describing the game's protagonist, Eve, as a doll sexualized by someone who you would think has never seen a woman. This is an actual woman the character's designed after.
Oh my gosh.
By a woman, by the way. IGN issued an official apology to Stellar Blade developer Shift Up. Blah, blah, blah. IGN French initially published their Stellar Blade preview on March 27th by Ben Osola and criticized the design of the character's protagonist, Eve, writing the design of the game, particularly its characters, highlighted an obvious bias. We're going to smash the alien, but if we can do it while pleasing these gentlemen, that's a bonus. And the result is not really a success. It's not new, and other games have chosen to highlight the strength of their female characters. But where a Bayonetta stands out with iconic character design, who's also sexualized, or a 2B from Nier Automata inspires an entire generation of cosplayers, who's also sexualized.
Who I was also
Eve.
gonna mention.
Eve from Stellar Blade is just bland, a doll sexualized by someone you think has never seen a woman. This woman is actually real, by the way. The outlet would then issue an edit that reads, the last sentence has been slightly edited for French-speaking people, pretending not to understand what we meant, and the English-speaking mob who Google translated the initial text. Oh, so they're saying that we misunderstood them. Oh! Now IGN has issued a formal apology. Recently, IGN France produced and published a preview of Stellar Blade containing an offensive passage that should never have been kept. The text has now been edited, and here is our official apology to the Shift Up Corporation studio staff. Also, please note that IGN France is an independent branch of IGN, and that IGN's editorial staff had nothing to do with this incident. Oh, way to walk that back. What do you think about the sexualizing? Like take a step back. I guess as a woman, what do you think of having sexy female characters in games? Is that an issue for you? What's your perspective?
Honestly, like, I don't care. Because it's just a way to get more people to play your game. I don't really see a problem with that. I mean, sure, it's not my cup of tea there.
Well, are you a kaiju lesbian? I thought we established this.
No.
Chance says, I am looking now, and the body dimensions honestly aren't over the top. She just looks like a super physically fit woman to me. A physically attractive woman, let's not be honest. Let's not be dishonest. I suppose the point is you're using idealized physical features. There's a reason why you don't have fat people as superheroes, because physically fit people exemplify athleticism and are an idealized version of the human form. You don't have to see yourself in every character. I don't buy that. But getting upset when they make a character like this, and let's be honest, young men like seeing attractive women. And that perhaps helps them sell their game. So are you upset with culture then?
Saying.
Like if I make a show with hot shirtless men in it, will all the women go to see it? Hey, guess what? That was called Aquaman. Or Thor Love and Thunder. Or it's not like this hasn't happened for men as well. It's not like I can't look. Yeah. It's not like I can't look at Thor and be like, yeah, that represents me and what I look like.
And it makes me think of like in The Witcher, Henry Cavill came out and said that he wouldn't do any more shirtless scenes. Well,
part of the problem is the writers
he had to do.
Yes. Well, and the writers kept writing him into shirtless scenes and weren't giving the character its due, and he just wasn't having it anymore. He's like, no. He's like, I'm not going to do that anymore. Chance says, I see myself in Fat Thor. We all do. Hey, here's the thing, though. I don't want to see Fat Thor in a movie because I don't want to see myself in a movie. in a movie. I want to see Hot Thor. I don't want to see Fat Thor. Fat Thor is a shame to the rest of us. He's pathetic and a loser. I mean, look, if you don't like the game and the depiction of women, don't buy it. Don't buy it. It's not for you. But why are you coming out here and moralizing and stamping the ground and getting upset about what other people like and are enjoying? Because the game's doing well. Well, why do you feel it necessary to tear other people's things that they love? Why do you feel necessary to tear it down? Why do you hate men, Silver?
I do not hate men.
Stop hating men, Silver.
Only you, Brett.
Oh, no.
Ah!
How's it feel, see?
It doesn't feel good. It's not good.
Yeah, again, I don't see a problem with it. Again, you want to get your product out there, and like you said, men want to see that, and if that gets your product sold, whatever. It's not a problem with it. They do the same thing to get product out to women.
Keep
A
talking.
really
I'm gonna go
good-looking
drink.
Excuse me? All right. I am
It wasn't
not
that-
alone.
It wasn't that far away. I was gone for literally a second, and you panicked. You panicked.
I thought you were... Because I didn't hear a thing. I thought you were walking away. You're like, I'm going to go downstairs and get a drink. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're just doing that.
It's literally like 5 feet from me, and your response was like, "Excuse me, don't leave me alone with these people."
You could have said like, oh, hold on, I'm just going to reach over here and grab my drink. You're like, no, I'm going to get a drink. And then you disappear.
Become brave. You could do it, Silver. You can be a one-woman podcast. Eventually, we'll all be gone, and much like Highlander, there will be only one. It'll just be you talking into the void. Chant saying inappropriate things in the chat. Who also says, "I bought Lollipop Chainsaw for the voice acting and the writing." Yeah, just like you read Playboy for the articles. They've got good articles in there.
Anyway, like men buying that video game, I watch Black Butler for a reason. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I think you do watch Black Butler for a reason.
Yeah.
Do you
I
think,
saw Aquaman for a reason.
Do you think Godzilla Cat brother bought Stellar Blade? Do you think he purchased that?
I would not be surprised. I have not heard him talk about it.
You think he'd be
Should
proud if he bought it? He would tell you.
I don't know if he'd tell me, actually. About that one.
Chant says Silver
He'd
already took out
assume that
Jason
I'm
and
like,
Ross. You did take them
Yep,
out.
they're
I will
gone.
not go quietly. I will go kicking and screaming.
As I pick you up by your bat cape.
Family.
Family.
Family. Hey, we've got more Superman and Lois filming series, penultimate episode. This is not as important as the fact that they're actually ending Superman and Lois. You know why they're ending Superman and Lois?
Are they going to his bisexual son?
No.
I don't know.
James Gunn is now in charge of DC and he's rebooting everything, and he thinks it's confusing to have too many versions of Superman, so he's getting rid of it.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's just canceling the show.
Alright.
Apparently the show was reasonably popular. I never saw it because it didn't look good. Chance liked it. So yeah, blame James Gunn. It's ending. I didn't know anything about the show. I was aware of it. I heard positive things and it was fairly well liked. Yeah.
I believe my father watched it.
Your father
Thank.
did? Papa Godzilla?
Yes. Papa
He watches
Godzilla
everything.
watched it.
He watches everything
That's
and he
true.
likes everything. I envy your father.
Except Captain Marvel. That was hilarious. Or the
He actually
Marvels.
didn't like it. He will watch
Oh,
anything, and he has almost a childlike, innocent love of he just wants to have a good time and watch a movie, even if it's a steaming pile of horse crap. And I envy that because I can't just watch something and unplug my brain and not start going, "This is terrible." But he can watch anything and like it, except for Captain Marvel, apparently. But nobody loves that, not even the people in the movie.
Which we watched with Uncle Godzilla, and to which, after we finished it, basically my dad turned to me and went, well, glad I didn't spend money on it.
Chant says Tyler Hoechlin, I don't know how to pronounce that, is my second favorite soups by just a hair below Christopher Reeves. Interesting. I don't know if I'd have a hierarchy. Christopher Reeves is the best, I guess. That's good to know. I mean, I heard good things about the show. I don't trust Hollywood to not insert politics and everything. So yeah. They've scared
I like
me.
Henry
They've scared me
Cavill
away.
for reasons.
For girl reasons.
I love Henry
For
Cavill.
reasons. For mysterious reasons.
Did I watch Agent Argyle? Yes. Did it suck? Absolutely. Was Henry Cavill in it? That's why I watched it?
Sucks.
Oh, yeah.
I like Henry Cavill for the articles.
I read Henry Cavill for the articles.
Yeah, you do.
Some good articles.
Let's go to the next story. Dune Messiah is officially in
Yay.
development, everybody. Yay. We get
Oh my
another
gosh.
pretentious film from Denis Villeneuve. Yay.
I hate dialogue.
I hate dialogue. I hate it. I just want a movie where no one says anything and they longingly look into the distance.
They stare at each other and they blink Morse code. That's the dialogue.
That's too much dialogue. Morse code is too much dialogue.
Yeah, that'd be
Chance
too much dialogue
says,
for him.
and Emmanuel Sharik as Lana Lang is yummy. You pervert. We only talk about the opposite sex that we find attractive in veiled references, not in direct ways. Henry Cavill is great for his articles.
Yes, he is.
Moving on. Hey, guess what? I know you've been clamoring. You keep asking, hey, are we ever going to get more Matrix movies? Guess what? We're getting another Matrix movie. Let's not forget that Matrix 4 actually exists and it's a steaming pile of horse crap. Like, what a terrible film. What an awful film.
I never actually saw that one.
Yeah, no.
But my gosh, I'm surprised there's another.
Here's the depressing part. So the director and writer for this is a guy named Drew Goddard. Now, if you know who Drew Goddard is, it might make you pause. I'm not confident in a new Matrix movie. We only needed one Matrix movie, and it already happened. Drew Goddard was a screenwriter for The Martian. He also worked on one of the best Marvel content that ever came out, the Daredevil TV show. He wrote for it and I think directed some of the episodes. So Drew Goddard, who worked on Cloverfield, World War Z, and Cabin in the Woods. So he's actually good. That does not make up for the fact that I'm not confident in anything Hollywood has to produce, but they actually have a pretty good writer-director attached to the product, even though I don't think we need more Matrix movies, do you?
It should be done with. I mean, they could probably make it okay with what director they have, but I can't see it being, like, amazing, you know?
Yeah, but this time, like, a woman's gonna be the one or something. Like, you know that's
Excuse me, Keanu? What happened?
Well, in the fourth movie, Trinity was the one. Not Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he just not in it?
No, he was in it. For some reason they implied that like you have to have the both of them, and I was like, that defeats the whole one story. But
Yeah.
it was a terrible film that happened during COVID, and it was a steaming pile of horse crap.
I mean, I'd rather have it with Keanu Reeves.
I would too. So who knows what we're going to get out of a fifth movie that's probably not going to have any of the recognizable characters that we had before. Moving on. Hey, so remember when The Rock came out and did a video endorsing Joe Biden? Apparently he's saying he's not going to endorse him this time around.
All right.
So I remember when The Rock came out with a video saying he was going to endorse Joe Biden in 2020. And everybody was paranoid about Donald Trump and that he was going to do all this drama. We are not strictly a political podcast, so I'm not going to comment on whether or not one candidate should be voted for or not. But I will tell you is that a lot of people responded to The Rock weighing into politics as, oh, okay, well, you're political now, and we're all going to treat you political. And guess what? I'm not saying that's why people didn't go see Jungle Cruise. I didn't want to go see Jungle Cruise because now that The Rock is a political shill, I'm not interested in seeing Jungle Cruise. I did see it much later. It's really bad. It's really bad. He was also in Black Adam, which was also really bad.
Oh my gosh. I've seen that show way too many times and I hate it every time. He was at one point one of the most loved and most highest paid actors in Hollywood. I am shocked he's changing his tune. Either this could be treated as genuine, which I don't believe it, or he actually did take a reputation hit by being political, which may have been what happened. Let's read a quote. There was a time where you used your fame, and it was a time that not everybody was happy. That was a few years ago, right? And you made a very big point. You said, I've never done this before, but I've endorsed a political candidate. How do you feel now in retrospect with that endorsement? Johnson initially responded in what way? Kane then clarified, are you happy that you made the endorsement in 2020? Are you happy with the state of America? Johnson responded, am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. We're not. Specifically addressing his endorsement of Joe Biden, Johnson said, that endorsement I made years ago with Biden was the one I thought was the best decision for me at the time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence and it's my job then, I felt that then it's my job to now exercise my influence and share with. This is who I am going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? The answer is no. Shockingly, the ladies of The View got really annoyed that he said he's not going to endorse a political candidate, which in effect says, if you endorsed Joe Biden last time, you're effectively saying, I'm not going to endorse him this time. Yeah, I think he got backlash. I think that sounds like probably what happened. Yeah, I think everybody. Yeah, I think all of the dude bros who watch his content are like, oh, screw The Rock. I'm gonna watch his crap. And I think he took a reputation hit. And guess what? He hasn't been in movies recently because he had a bunch of stinkers recently. And he wrestled in WrestleMania today. So if he's back in wrestling, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to be seen as left wing. I don't know what The Rock's real politics are. Let's assume he's honest and he has a fairly left wing political bias. Looking at this now, when he's involved in Hollywood heavily, and then he endorses a left wing politician, and then he's back in wrestling and he stops endorsing a left wing politician, that makes me think cynically that he's just going with what's popular. And he only endorsed Biden because he was in Hollywood. And now he's not in Hollywood. He ain't endorsing Biden. I can see that.
Yeah. That's what it feels like to me. Low be it for me to question a man's motives, but it's hilarious that he's pulling back on that. Hilarious. Hey, guess what?
Hilarious.
Oh no, open the article, Chrome.
Oh no.
It's open now. Apparently Shakira hates the Barbie movie. Part of her reasoning is she has boys and it was seen as emasculating to men, and she didn't like it. And guess what? Mothers out there, see, that's one thing when it comes to content with women that emasculate men. If you're a mother and you have sons, you also want good things for your sons. Why would you support a movie that says all men are terrible? Unless you're a psychopath and you also hate your sons. Good for Shakira. She didn't like the movie. She thinks it's bad for men, and it made men look bad, and she wants men to be great. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring the men back. Come on.
Bring back men. None of these soy boys.
Camille. Anyway.
Hey, I'll marry Shakira. She's on the right side of history on this one. Did she recently get a divorce?
I didn't even know she was married.
Well, she has children. Well, that's not a guarantee she would be married. You know?
Shakira. Hold on.
Big Google. Oh, magic Joogle.
Some guy named Antonio.
Yeah, I hear her hips don't lie. I've heard this.
Oh, wait, no, that's an ex-husband. Most recent one was Gerard Piqué. Divorced 2022.
Oh.
All right.
So yes, recently divorced. So you're telling me there's a chance.
Go get Shakira.
I'm after it. Shakira's available. I mean, get in line with the millions of other guys. Oh, excuse me? I would like to see you on a date. Mm-hmm.
You can't say no, it's a lie.
I'm told your hips don't lie. Here's an interesting development this last week. So there's a video game consultancy organization called the Melanin Gamers. And they announced that they are creating a rating system for toxicity online. And apparently just got mocked relentlessly for doing that. According to the company's website, Melanin Gamers is dedicated to increasing diversity and inclusion in video game industry. Is more than a gaming community. It is a show of support, a cry for some desperately needed change, and a safe space in online and in real life community for people of color to come together, share ideas, and feel represented. Want to be seen and heard is necessity in that current climate we are living in. What climate? And we believe that by creating this platform, we will be able to strive towards change in an industry so that it reflects all those who are part of it. You mean the small fraction of a percentage of people that you're talking about? We are not calling for needless tokenism. Yes, you are. Much like we had Token Spider-Man. But a real shift in the tide from the grassroots to the very top. And I'm quoting, by the way, Ripa, who created the Ripaverse, a black man who hates Miles Morales. He calls him Token Spider-Man. The site also reveals the company has a diversity and inclusion consultancy. So much like Black Girl Gamers or Sweet Baby Inc., MG at its heart is a group of dedicated advocates committed to improving representation in popular media. Didn't we say when we talked about Sweet Baby Inc. at the time, there's like 300 other ones of these companies that are doing the exact same thing, and it's not just Sweet Baby Inc. and it's not just Black Girl Gamers. Yeah. The hilarious part is they're apparently creating a toxicity identifying system in online gaming. So are you going to record people's screen names and rate them? Is that what we're doing? The website features a number of games, including Call of Duty, Fortnite, Minecraft, Apex Legends, Valorant. It also promises it will include Animal Crossing, Rocket League, Destiny 2, Halo Infinite, and GTA Online. It claims that ratings were created by surveying hundreds of gamers and represents the average amount of racism, gender discrimination, violence towards others, crude humor, and controlled substance conversation experience. So they're going to rate how toxic the communities are. Do you think that's gonna make them less toxic or more toxic?
Look at that innocent video game, Stardew Valley. You get an M rating in toxicity. Can't
Is
believe you.
Stardew Valley really toxic? Do you play that online? Have you played that online?
No, I haven't.
I didn't know
I just
there was
see
an
them
online.
going around to innocent games and going, M rating. How horrible.
I wonder if we're all gonna get scores, like culture scores that you get in like China, and if your score isn't good enough, you can't play online, sort of thing.
Oh no.
Here's a game that Silver doesn't care about. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic is a long way away, but in shock to everybody, it's apparently still being worked on. We all thought it went away, but according to the developer, it's still happening.
Wow.
Who would have thought? Shifting on, Hayao Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron makes a box office record in China. Earned well over $100 million in the country. Good for The Boy and the Heron. It's a great movie. Won the Oscar for Best Animated Movie. These last Oscars, the 2024 Oscars. And apparently he's just killing it in China. So good for Boy and the Heron. Oh no. Moving on. I'm gonna get rid of that. Moving on. No. Well, we don't have to sit and dwell on it. I think I'm the only one out of any of us who has seen Boy and the Heron. I'm a dedicated fan.
I'll see it eventually.
Eventually. Superman's Action Comics #1 sets a record with a $6 million sale.
Oh my gosh.
Action Comics #1, I would have you know, is the first Superman. Yeah. I don't know. Does this garner a bigger conversation in comics? Because comic books have always had this. I don't know. How do we get into this? There was a big comic book bubble in like the 80s and 90s where comic books just blew up price wise and then it crashed and nearly destroyed the comic book industry. Comic book industry is already dying at the moment anyway. I mean, nobody's buying comic books. But there was a time when comic books blew up and everybody was hearing that it was like an investment opportunity, that you could make a lot of money off of comic books and people were buying stuff. I remember going to a friend's house during the time when they did the Death of Superman, and he had Death of Superman sealed in packages on his shelf. I was like, oh, you have Death of Superman? I was like, that's pretty good. And he was like, well, you read it? And I was like, yeah. He's like, it's a collector's item. And then I realized he doesn't care about Superman. He just bought it so that he could keep it on a shelf and sell it later. And that was part of the reason that drove prices up, is because people were speculating. They're speculating that things would be worth more money. They were speculating that, I mean, they would come out with like multiple variants of covers. They would come out with like foil covers or collector's edition covers. And people thought these would all be worth money down the road. What they didn't realize is the comic books that were worth any money at all were really old and really rare.
Yeah.
Because shockingly, when it comes to collecting of anything, age and rarity are a big factor when it comes to the value of stuff you purchase. And Action Comics #1 was printed in 1938, and it's the first image, first existence of Superman. Superman being an iconic character that existed for a long time now. Sure, it's going to be very desirable. No one cares. Well, it might still be worth money, but if this was like Buttman #1, it would be not as interesting. But because it's a character that everybody recognizes and has value, and obviously it's probably in really good condition.
Yeah.
This is happening to Too Bad Chance gets fussy and he has to go to bed early. But this has happened to the video game market as well. where essentially people are blowing up the prices of stuff. There's been instances of companies that go on stuff like eBay, and they will try and sell video games for a marked up price, like huge amounts of money, and then they will buy it with another company that they also own. And then they can claim that these games or these whatever are being sold for huge amounts of money because they have evidence that they're being sold on the internet, even though they're selling it to themselves. So they drive up the prices of these games.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, on purpose. Yeah, and they're ruining the market. Apparently, they started to do it with movies, with like VHSs and stuff. We're talking things that have been printed in the millions. I was like, a VHS?
Yeah.
Like a sealed VHS of a really bad movie? Anyway. I mean, it's probably worth $6 million. It's an iconic comic book. It's amazing. That's a big price tag, though. It's a big price tag. First appearance of Spider-Man sold for $3.6 million.
Oh,
Only you
yeah, I
can
think I remember seeing that one.
go back in time and tell grandparents to buy it and then seal it in a very like safe,
Go get
protected.
Spider-Man.
Give me Spider-Man. Get me pictures of Spider-Man. I want pictures of Spider-Man's butt. Use the Zoom.
The Zoom.
He's really into getting pictures of Spider-Man. What do you want?
Just a big bulletin board full of Spider-Mans. Insane.
Lots of butt shots of Spider-Man.
Weirdly, just that.
Just backside shots of Spider-Man.
Every single one that's ever existed is attached to this creepy bulletin board in a basement.
These images are needed for the articles.
The article!
The picture brings them in. The article keeps them around.
Read between the articles.
They do that where the text is superimposed and Spider-Man's crack is the crack in the middle of the newspaper. Wow, they're really playing ahead on this one.
Grandma, no!
Bring me pictures of Spider-Man. Oh. Well, I mean, it's easy to get through the news when we don't have people who are long-winded like Jason. I happen to be long-winded, but my opinion's more important than everybody else's. Oh, don't laugh.
Yes,
it's
it
not
is.
funny. Thank you. Serious.
Super funny.
It's not funny at all.
Oh, I'm laughing. So.
What do you got? What do you got for me, Silver? You got 20 minutes of Silver time.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, we got to think.
This corner.
I made that myself.
Yes, you did.
On my own.
You did it.
I did do it.
What shall we talk about in this remaining 20 minutes?
What's up that's interesting you? What are you into? What are you into, kid? What are you into, champ?
It's depressing. I haven't been able to do anything the past couple of weeks. I got this thing called finales.
Oh, the mysterious finales.
The finales.
Weren't we going to get
one
together and
test
play
I
that?
always do right before.
We were going to play that Japanese commercial game I made up.
Oh, yeah.
I made up a game.
Do that.
I made up a game where you go up on YouTube and people upload Japanese commercials. like just loads of commercials, one right after another, like 30 minutes of commercials or something. And the game is, and you're welcome to play this at home, we're going to call it an official DG podcast game.
Yeah.
What you do is you go home, you pull it up, and you and another person watch it. And the goal is to be the first person, if at all, to figure out what they're selling on the commercial. Because sometimes you can't tell. There are some commercials where I watch it and I was like, I still don't know what this product is. Like, is it like a cell phone provider or a bank? Like, I don't. And this works better if you don't know Japanese. If you know Japanese, this game's not for you. Do it
then
with
you're
a
cheating
Brazilian
and don't
commercial.
do it.
Yeah, you're essentially cheating. It's a great game. I played it with Ross, and you're basically shouting out. It's like, McDonald's. This is McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Because sometimes you can't tell. Yeah. You get, to be fair, if you've seen a few of them, you get used to similar sort of theme in some of them, and you can kind of see stuff coming before it hits. Where it's like they'll have a similar actor in a similar commercial over and over again. Some of the more confusing ones are like you can't always tell with Cup of Noodle. Sometimes it's just like we're having a good time, and then it's like Cup of Noodle, and it's like, what? Where did that come from? Sometimes it's
like I'm gonna be great at this. Sometimes I can't even tell what some American commercials are doing until the brand shows up.
Well, you're not wrong.
It'd be the most random thing.
Or it's like, oh, I like going out into the park and stuff. Here's something for like hemorrhoids, or it's like now you can go out into the park, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Well, that's the great thing about Japanese commercials is that they don't have any pharma ads. None of them will ever be medication. Fun fact.
Oh, they just not allowed?
Yeah, the only 2 countries in the world that have ads for medication is New Zealand and the United States.
Oh, interesting. New Zealand sucks. I've lost all confidence in New Zealand and Australia with the recent virus drama that happened over there. If you forget, Australia created like concentration camps for people who were sick. And there's this one guy that left his house and he shouldn't have, and they sent like the SWAT team to chase him down. It was ridiculous.
Oh my!
Literally, it was trending on the internet that New Zealand had become a fascist dictatorship, and a bunch of people online were like, "What do you mean New Zealand's a fascist dictatorship?" Well, you get arrested, and a lot of New Zealand, you're in the middle of nowhere. Like it doesn't matter if you go outside. But yeah, they crack down hard, like a regime that a little German guy used to be in charge of. Similar way.
Have you heard of the Wizard of New Zealand?
The Wizard of No.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. It's this guy literally dressed as a wizard. The official wizard of New Zealand. The only state-appointed wizard in the world.
So they actually believe that he casts spells and such.
Yeah, I guess as of 2 years ago, on this article says New Zealand Council ends contract with Wizard after 2 decades of service.
Well, they pay
I can't believe it.
It's like a state-sanctioned wizard.
Chanel. Yes.
It's like California had an official Wiccan.
I did not know that.
Well,
but yeah, he's an official wizard.
I can believe they would. Yeah. So does he go to like I don't know, city halls and like cast spells on them for keep evil out or something? I don't know.
I have no idea. Let's see. I'll Google what he does.
I know there was an Emperor of California for a while. I don't know if you've heard of the Emperor of California.
I have not.
He was some crazy guy who claimed that all of California was his. They declared themselves the emperor, and California just like laughed and found him to be a charming crazy man. So they just let him get away with it. So he'd walk around with like fancy robes and stuff, and people would give him free meals because he was the emperor of California. They just played along.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I found his wiki page.
Oh, he has a wiki.
In 1974, the wizard migrated to Christchurch in New Zealand and began to speak on a ladder in Cathedral Square. The city council attempted to have him arrested, but he became so popular that they made the square a public speaking area. Wearing his costume as a false prophet of the Church of England, or his wizard's pointy hat, he has spoken there at lunchtimes in the summer months. He confronted telecom over the color of public telephone boxes, played for local rugby teams, heckled Christian evangelist Ray Comfort, evaded the compulsory New Zealand census, and performed rain dances in the outback. And they
He just
appointed him.
co-ops every religion.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's a picture of him escorted by the members of Alf's Imperial Army with the Queen's Service Medal.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
The Wizard of New Zealand.
The Wizard of New Zealand. It also lists him as a politician.
Did he get elected?
It says New Zealand educator, comedian, illusionist, and politician.
Rock on.
Wow.
I found this article, I think Jason found it a while ago, where somebody put up the 50 most anticipated new games of 2024. Should we look at it?
Yes.
Another Code Recollection. Never heard of it. You?
Never heard of it.
Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. Didn't this also already come
Apollo
out?
Justice! Objection!
Did this already come out? Did you not play this?
I have not played the original series. Still need to purchase Apollo Justice.
Oh, came out on the 25th. Banisher's Ghost of New Eden. I don't. Apparently, it
No
already
idea.
came out and it left no splash whatsoever. Skull and Bones.
Oh, from the Life is Strange developer.
Ew.
That explains it.
Mario versus Donkey Kong. Ew.
Ooh.
Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. This is
Heard of
the
the
Brothers
original.
sequel. No, it's the remake.
Oh,
I heard the original's
I
good.
didn't even know they were doing that.
Final Fantasy Rebirth. It's great. Chances going to hell and has AIDS. Alone in the Dark. They did a remake of Alone in the Dark.
Ooh, survival horror.
I know. I remember the old Alone in the Dark. The old one was a point and click on the PC. It's one of the first survival horrors of all time. And they came out with a few sequels, but that looks like Stranger Things, man.
Oh, yeah.
It is David Harbour. Dragon's Dogma 2. I've heard a lot of hype about Dragon's Dogma 2. I haven't played it. I can only buy so many games in a year. If people donated money, I would consider buying it.
I'd probably buy
The
a
Princess
game
Peach
a
one.
year.
Yeah. Well, I buy you a game. Usually.
Yes.
And I know it's going to be one you like. So bonus. I heard the Princess Peach game is pretty good. I've heard.
Oh. Yeah, I haven't heard
Uden
that one.
Chronicle. Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know. What
Braid Anniversary Edition. So it's Braid, but the new DLC for Destiny 2. Black Myth Wukong. Looks like a Chinese game about the Monkey King myth.
Yeah. Interesting.
Angerfoot. All right. First person Angerfoot. I'm guessing you kick a lot.
It's a hyped game.
Release date to be determined.
Okay.
Animal Well. Looks like a little indie aura history untold. Yeah, I don't know. Arc 2.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, you get yourself some Fast and Furious action in Arc 2. Avowed.
Like
yeah,
Arc Survival?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I was like, I've played that. It was pretty good. It's better with more people, though.
Yeah. Avowed. It's made by Obsidian, and I'm a fan of Obsidian. So I'll keep my eye on it. Not purchase it when it comes out, purchase it a year later. Baby steps. This seems one of those like gimmicky. Yeah, this seems like one of those gimmicky games that all the streamers play for like a week and then goes away.
Yeah, like I Am Bread or something.
Yeah. Bandle Tail. Oh, look at this cutesy artwork.
It's very cute.
That's some Animal Crossing whatever going on here.
Yes, it is.
Blade Chimera. Blue Protocol. There's so much going on here. Casting Frank Stone. Yeah, I don't.
Cat Quest.
Cat Quest. Oh, it's like RPG. Oh, look, it's Silver. Is obsessed with cats. Anything that says cat on it, she's interested.
Of course.
Why don't you develop a personality that's not just cats involved?
I'm literally a cat monster. I don't know what to tell you. And that was your idea.
What do you mean, my idea? You are a cat monster. There's no other. Like you're a horrible kaiju cat monster. What do you mean, idea? Like I conjured you out of nowhere.
Yep.
Concord. There's a ship.
No idea.
Ooh, Contra. Is it a new Contra or like a Contra? Newish. It looks all right. Contra is always too hard for me. Dustborn. Nope, Xbox. This looks like it sucks. Moving on. Earth Defense Force 6.
Oh my gosh.
EDF. EDF.
Elden Ring.
The DLC is coming. There was this funny clip that was going around on the internet. The creator of Final Fantasy 14, they're coming out with a DLC for it. And he was talking about the DLC, and he said, we were actually going to come out with this a week early, but Elden Ring's DLC is coming out, and we know who you people are. So he's like, you get 1 week with Elden Ring, and then we're going to come out with our DLC.
Oh, that's amazing.
They're like, all right. 14 on Xbox has come out. 14 is out on Xbox. Dawn Trail, new DLC. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. There's a strong black woman right there. To fight ancient gods. Yeah, I don't care. Foam Stars. I think I've seen a trailer for this. It looks quirky. Splatoon-like. Funko
Oh my
Fusion.
gosh.
Don't tell me we're getting a Funko Pop. Ugh.
Oh, I'm getting you this game.
Oh, no, you're not. Expect violence if you do.
Oh, why?
I will destroy you. You know what I'll do? I'll go buy a bunch of somebody's like old Funko Pop collection that I've threatened to do before. I'll get like hundreds of them,
Yes.
and I'll hide them all over your room. You will be finding them for years. Ghost
We're like,
Bike.
yep, there's another Funko. Ghost bag.
It's like sand in your carpet. It'll never get out. This seems like some artsy indie game.
Yeah.
The Ghost Bike. Hades 2. Apparently Hades 1 was great. So one would assume Hades 2 is also great. Art style is really good.
Yeah.
Hyper Light Breaker. Man, there's a lot of woman-centric games coming out. Have you noticed?
What's the problem, Red?
I hate women, Silver.
Oh, well, okay.
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. Is zombies dead? Like, can we like? Is zombies possible anymore? Or are they just dead? Not also literally, but is the genre a dead genre?
I mean, according to Back for Blood.
Yeah. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game. So weird, quirky movie is now we now have a weird, quirky game because this is a movie. I say it's a 90s
Oh.
movie. Yeah. Oh, you play the killer clown. They're essentially aliens that are kidnapping people and eating them.
Oh,
This is a
all
real
right.
movie. I'm surprised your Papa Kong or whatever hasn't forced you to watch that. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. I'm not a Kingdom Hearts person. Lightyear Frontier. Yeah, I don't know. It looks artsy.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion 2. I never played the first one. I probably should. Metaphor Refantasio. Multiverses. Yeah.
Oh,
The legitimate fight
gross.
between Superman and that kid. Steven
Universe? I
His
think?
last name is, his family name is Universe. Neva. Hey, look, another artsy platformer.
There's a trend here.
Oh, and a girl. Look at that. It looks like a girl anyway.
I can't even see that.
Moving Tale of a Young Woman. Paper Mario.
Paper
I think this is a
Mario.
remake. Paper Mario is great.
And that's it.
Yeah, I want to say a good chunk of these were woman dominated. See, there's one. This is girly, even if there are men in it. It's two. I don't know. There are a lot of strong women in that Final Fantasy. Three, four. Monkey. Big beefy leg.
Could be a woman's foot.
Could be a woman. Women can have big beefy green legs. Women can have giant green beefy legs.
That's true.
You're
Look
saying
at
they
all
can't?
that. Holy crap.
You saying they can't with your internalized misogyny?
I was saying that could be a woman's leg. I don't know.
Could be. I don't know. Here's a lady. There are lots of women on this one. Unless they're... It depends. This looks Japanese, Bandai Namco, so they could be harem.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, very JRPG looking, this thing.
Yeah.
Does anything stand out besides a cat one because you're a degenerate?
No.
Well, it's
really,
a good...
which is
Some
bad.
hope for gaming in the future. So Silver doesn't care at all.
I mean,
EDF 6.
I haven't
EDF
finished.
6.
Oh yeah, that's true. I've only
Elden
played
Ring.
one of them. Oh yeah, and I haven't finished Elden Ring yet, but I will get to that. I'm coming for you, DLC.
I think the DLC is supposed to be pretty beefy, like price-wise.
Ooh.
$30-$40 or something.
Great.
Well, so Silver, has been a special time. We
A special time.
we pushed back against the misogyny. We went 50-50 this time.
Yep.
I anticipate a return of masculine energy and you to recess into the void. No longer actively
Next
conversing.
week, we get even more toxic.
Look for it next week. More misogyny.
Less of my voice.
You had things to say. You were forced to converse with me over the topics because there was no one else.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then now next week, I'm just not going to know what to say.
Now I'm going to have to ask you direct, absurd questions to force you into the conversation.
Force me to speak. Yep. We're just going to go back to what we usually do.
How about this? The less you talk, the more I'm going to bring up embarrassing things to ask you.
I mean, I guess that's a good incentive. I'm scared, though.
Stay tuned next week for embarrassing Silver conversations for an hour.
Oh, no.
All about you.
Oh.
Lady problems.
But I'm done.
We can talk about like tampons and stuff.
Talking about, I don't know, tampon news. Is that what you want?
Is there tampon news? Is it a thing you got to keep track of? Is
No.
there a feed? I can learn
I'm pretty
about?
sure I can find some, though.
This week in tampons? This week in tampons.
One was found to cause cancer. I don't know.
Get chance AIDS.
This week with toxic shock syndrome due to tampons.
Chance AIDS is going to be one of our new products. We're going to advertise Chance AIDS next week.
Yes, we are. Next week.
Well, it's been a good time. Anything you want to leave us with? Words of wisdom? Help the kids through the dark times?
Make sure to drive on the wrong side of the road.
I heard a
joke
the other.
Why that's my advice.
I heard a joke the other week. What was it like? Why do stoplights have a red light? Why is the color red to tell you when to stop?
Go at red, everyone.
Well, it's supposed to let gingers know when they're supposed to go.
Oh, that's it.
What? public service. Gotta get rid of them.
Dude.
Lack of soul.
Great advice. Great advice.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's run away before this gets worse. All right.
Yeah, okay.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
If you like the show, follow Rhett, Jason, Ross, and Silver, the world's most lethally stupid internet personalities, on Twitter at DG Podcast or on Instagram at Distracted Gamers. If you liked or hated what you heard here today, you can email them at thedistractedgamers@gmail.com and share your feelings. Not that Jason would care, since he hasn't any, of course.
Oh my God, it's so juicy.